Complexity versus G1, getting ready for our next series on the main stage in Pool A to round things off. And honestly, I think big hopes for both of these teams, quite frankly. When you look at them, and I'm thinking about what kinds of teams they are and what they're capable of, to me, they're pretty even. I think this actually should be a really interesting series. And if I had to give a prediction, I would honestly know who I would choose here. I think both teams have potential. I think G1 have been incredible. My one thing with G1 is obviously picking up a massive, massive player who I think is going to make a huge difference from them, which is Suspector. And I think he has not found a home yet. He is so skilled. I mean, we see his stat tweets on Twitter. We know how good he can be, even on a team that isn't quite placing where they want to place. Picking up Suspector, what do you think that's going to do for them?
Yeah, they had a tough series with FaZe earlier, and it went to game 4, but a lot of those games were very, very close. And that's something you want to see from G1. Maybe not that complete upset of the #1 seed in the tournament, but competing with them every leg of the way was, I think, a big confidence boost for these guys. I have a lot of high hopes for the talent that's on this roster. I'm a big fan of Precision and Swish. I think that those guys are the truth. I'm a big fan of Huss as well. And if you go over to the Complexity side, I'm going to tell you the exact same thing about some players on their team. I'm a Tusk believer. I've always been a Gilkey believer, and I think that these two teams actually played each other at that last tournament in the Optic Gaming Major, and they went the distance and ended up in an Empyrean Game 5 where Gilk Duds himself showed you a masterclass of what Pit Slayer looks like. He's been doing that for 15 years. I think if it was any other map or mode, I'd favor G1 in this series. I think G1 maybe is the better team, but either one of these two teams can go the distance here. And I think that they have had their eyes set on each other as soon as the pools were set, because they knew that they were going to have to compete against each other for that second spot, because obviously FaZe is who FaZe is.
Yeah, the camera angle briefly pointed onto KingNick, and I think he's going to be the real X factor for this Complexity team. When we last seen him on the main stage, he was dropping not the best numbers, 0.45 I believe was the Slayer numbers over the course of the series. I think you cannot be dropping over double negative and see success on any team. There's no team that can carry you to a victory in a series with stats like that. So KingNick needs to stop giving up so many easy deaths and be a little bit more clinical when there's kills in front of him.
Yeah, I gotta say I agree. A huge kind of contrast there in terms of the kills coming off from Karmea and also from KingNick. I gotta say though, we had a little sneak peek of what is next.
Who's
so
next?
Why not? Who is next? We've got two incredible casters to round off the night. Why not? Let's just go to them. We've got Onset and Bravo. Folks, please welcome your last duo, your last pair of the evening.
Thank you, Lottie. I got the giggles. I've got to be honest, that gave me the giggles a little bit. A bonus cast! How about that, Andy? What a time to be alive, everybody. And what a game we do have to bring to you all at home as well. It's 1-on-1 for both these teams in pools. This will be for second place.
Yeah, I would say best for last, but unfortunately it's us instead. We're going to be the ones casting the match.
But
But we're looking forward to the match.
I think we'll go with the rest.
Yeah, it's us.
But what an interesting game this is, right? Because this is two teams who are always going to be, always teams who, when we see them going up against some of the big dogs, so to speak, you know, we're talking about phases, etc. We've obviously seen G1 versus FaZe already today, but they're always the teams that you're looking at to upset one of those teams. But now we get to see them both going against each other, which means we're going to have what we would expect to be a fiercely competitive match, between the two. And I really like the makeup of this G1 roster. I want to focus on them a little bit as we go into game 1, because they have made this pick up to Suspector, and he's a player who has just been looking for a home for so long. And this roster, for whatever reason, you look at it and you think, this is Suspector's home. This is the lineup that just fits how he wants to play.
Yeah, let's not forget, Suspector has tasted some big placings, right? Historically, some big placings in Halo 5, of course. He's no stranger to the main stage. He knows what he's doing, as you said, just looking for that right roster. He's now found what could be a great fit, and maybe one that will change the trajectory of G1 season.
Well, here we go then. Game number 1 in the bonus game of the day, everybody. That's right, we love to keep the action thick and fast and coming your way all weekend long. And this is a little bit of a treat for everybody, and it's a great start here off the rip for Suspector. Gets that trade in the 2v2 across the map, but Tusk has already got that ball back here for Complexity, and the Rockets have fallen over to G1 as well.
I really think there with the damage from Suspector as winning that 2v1 essentially should have been enough here, but kills come in a little slow afterwards, and nice shots again from Swish for the dub.
Yeah, beautiful little bit of what I'm going to call feathering of the trigger there with the commando to make sure that Bloom didn't get out of control. And he could clean up that kill pretty effectively. G1 with control of that oddball and go into a slender lead. Precision's going to need a little bit of help on this pink street, though. You can see Karmea is flying forward, and Swish is having a little bit of a problem with the spawn of that Bulldog because he can't bend the bullets in the way that he would have wanted to. He's still trying to feather this Commando, but can't quite get the kills. Big damage comes in, but no one there to convert it into kills.
Yeah, good shots out of Swish in the end. However, that 1v2, of course, going to be difficult to win there. One little tap out of Tusk. Gets turned on, though. Gilkey, your last player alive for Complexity.
Just to get that ball into somewhat of a playable position as well, and he's just trying to buy a little bit of time for the rest of his team to get on the map. They do get on the map, and even though Huss has got that odd ball, he does not have the location of Gilkey, and Gilkey, with a little bit of help coming in from Tusk, is causing some problems and making this a little bit mixy. Precision's going to slow things down, calm things down here for G1. They get a couple of kills, 3 in total. KingNick the last alive, and as you can see on your screen, from the point of view of Precision, he's a mile away spawning over in Red Room.
Yeah, Gilkey bought the team as much time as he could, but in the end, it was just KingNick as their last player alive at the end of all that, and they still didn't get the play ball, so it's delayed, but G1 still scoring here with almost triple the score of their opponents here early on.
Great shots there from Precision as well. Not only gets one, but should, you would imagine, be able to clean up the second as well. Killing spree for Precision. The game attack matching the accuracy of the shots at the moment. These rockets are going to be the next point of attention, as that lead for G1 means that they can leave that ball down and focus all of their attention on the power weapon. It's a clean pickup here for Precision, and the killing spree might be extended here if he can hit a couple of good rockets.
Really nice work here for him. Knows he needs to play this angle carefully at back A. Lets the shields recharge and maybe time this as well just right. Doesn't get the drop slide wanted. However, it's really nice patience out of Precision there with the rocks. Also going to come away with a threat streak here in hand as well.
Going to be able to make sure that he's going to be able to kind of decipher information here with that threat seeker. Knows that there's going to be nobody else for him to deal with the rockets. They're going to be trying to rotate behind him. Therefore, he can turn his attention away towards the arcade side of the map. With that, gets one kill with the rockets. Swish and Huss will pick up the rest. 3 dead here for Complexity once more. KingNick last alive on Commando. And more ball time here. And what a run this is from Precision, by the way. Not only is he kind of juggling the power weapons and picking up the kills he needs to, but always got that odd ball in mind as well.
This is beautiful. He's 8-1 in this game with 20 seconds on the board as well. That's been a huge factor of why they're up 53-12 right now. As you said, really a textbook beautiful clinic being put on here by Precision.
Gonna get the flank on Karmea here as well. There's one. Not sure if he got the location of the second, but doesn't matter because Tusk is going to take some more damage as well. KingNick again. First spawner. All of Complexity in the death screen, and more ball time here for G1.
3rd time in a row, KingNick's been the last player alive, and that, my God, this game was just about tied at the 12 mark. And because of this run from Precision and Co., we're now here at 71-12.
Karmea gonna get a trade at least. KingNick and Gilkey still alive here. It's a 2v2 on the map. KingNick with that Sentinel Beam will get the kill. Gilkey trying to keep him alive as they rotate that ball away. Huss doing some damage, but not enough to clean up either of those kills. So Complexity will get a little bit of time on the board here as KingNick now has control of the top of Tram.
Here's what can they do here. 10 seconds left in the Rockets. They need to hold. All 8 players alive. G1 really only needs about 1 push, maybe 2 to get their last final holds. Complexity needs to hold strong for the rest of this game.
Precision gets that first pick though. Gilkey with the odd ball in his hands means he's not going to be able to challenge for these rockets. Complexity do get them though. Tusk manages to kind of thread the needle a little bit. Picks up a double kill. Now needs to do a little bit more work. And I love this from Tusk. Absolutely love it. Recognize teammates will respawning. He knows they're not going to respawn next to the players he's fighting. So turns around, says, hey, that's cool. You can stay there. I'm going to bring the odd ball back to my team.
Really nicely done. Double kill, spikes out Tram, and as you say, blitzes out. And just like that now, the game is within 40.
Gilkey staying alive inside of PD here. Precision last player alive. You can see him on the screen. They're trying to hunt him down. Complexity now. They know how vital it is to get that final kill. And Gilkey is head on a swivel at the moment, trying to help out teammates, trying to find out where he is. But once again, how many times do we say it, Andy? How many problems a last player alive can cause if you don't know where he is? Really well done.
Gilkey also kind of got caught on the planter there. Just got his toe wedged against some of the greenery. And just like that, it's more time on the board for G1 as they cross the 78-point mark.
We talk about Precision for a second here. He's 14-2 in this round number 1. Does damage, stays alive as well. Very smart decision making coming in from this young man. Eventually does get taken down by the grenade coming in from Huss, but Suspector now, the new man to this squad, needs to pick up a few more kills for his team in this game. 6 and 7 at the moment, 7 assists leading the way. And with G1 in a commanding position in this game, a few more kills for him, and this could be the first round.
And he heard that slide coming in. Eventually, Karmea will be the one that does the damage. Precision picks up another one here in the back of PD. As you say, only 13 seconds left. G1 just needs to continue playing the same game, and they'll have no problem closing out this round.
You get a little touch on that oddball as well to make Complexity have to come across the map to them. Precision adds another kill. He's 16-3 in this round number 1. It'll be 16-4 as he finally gets taken down. Suspected therefore a trade though. The oddball is picked up by Complexity, but you can see it's a 3v3 on the map. And Huss getting a little bit of help to Suspector here means KingNick is trying to escape, trying to scarper. Gilkey last alive. This could be the final push here for G1.
Yeah, Gilkey needs to be careful. There's a lot of pressure coming in towards him right now. He's the top A. Rocket's hitting all sorts of angles. Doesn't matter. The Shroud goes down. He'll be taken down. Depending on how the kills go. Neon's here. It's a double kill. Perfect! From Huss. Assist comes in. These should be the final points on the board.
You would imagine so, but there's a little bit of a PD spawn maybe coming in for Gilkey here. Karmea trying to keep that pressure on, and Karmea with some pretty good shots and evasion somehow keeps Complexity in this. And from what we just saw the last few seconds with all the kills going to G1, how on earth have Complexity got a full setup now around tower?
Karmea puts the ice skates on, gives him the wiggles over at Back Cafe, and just like that, this game is within 20. Oh boy, 2v2 on the map here.
2v2, Gilkey trying to stay alive and manages to do so. He's going to reach out. Tusk, he's going to be there to help him out. And Complexity very much still in this game. And this could be one of those games, or rounds I should say, that G1 look back on and go, how on earth did we throw this one away?
Ooh, Karmea with a nice little job to stay in this ledge here, in this nook. Look at the scoreboard though. 7-point game.
Might be the last push here for G1. They're taking their time to make sure they get full numbers on the map. But there's one for Karmea. He might be able to pick up a second here as well. There's the double, the triple's in front of him if he wants it. Karmea will find the 3, and now you can see Complexity will go into a lead. Swish last alive, somehow gets out of that battle without taking damage himself, but is that enough for Complexity to win the round?
Not over just yet. Here comes the pressure on Tusk. 3 seconds to go.
3 seconds to go. No one here. Complexity are going to steal this one away. And G1, luckily for them, that isn't the game over, but that round is one they should look back on. They cannot lose that.
G1, maybe overslaying there on Neons when they had 3 dead. As you said, allowed the PD spawners to come in when they only needed 13 seconds left on the board. Somehow, the game is stolen out from under them as they continued to apply the pressure when they maybe didn't need to. It's about a 30-point lead minimum that they threw away there in that game, and then they will have to think about it, and a lot to think about if we're honest, in the second round.
Yeah, I mean, if you needed something to refocus or force you to refocus, a loss like that certainly has to. Gilkey going to be on the flank, and Precision will lose the rockets as well, and G1 look a little bit discombobulated at the moment, a little bit not quite sure how they want to approach this round, and Complexity, well, they thrive in the chaos.
Oy, oh boy, Gilkey gets a little bit of an extra betrayal as well on Karmea, who happened to be taking the commando route on a Sunday stroll, and he catches a stray. If we've ever seen one. That was 3 dead for Complexity, but it has to be mentioned. At the time that the comeback began, Precision was 16-3. Let's not forget that. And to lose a round when you're 16-3 ever, let alone on the main stage, that is a tough, tough result. Precision here wants to turn that around here in the second round.
Looks like Complexity trying to push into Tram. Precision again with some fantastic shots, by the way. It's going to contribute to yet another kill. They want to try and push into Tram here and clean out those last remaining Complexity players. It's exactly what they managed to do. So 3 were dead from Complexity. And now, no surprise here to see Precision say, hey, hold the oddball. I'm going to move forward. I'm going to be the one who can get some kills for us here. I'm the one who's committing the most to those kills tally. And he gets another one there onto Tusk.
Ring around the Rosie, double spike loop-de-loop on the Cafe. Haven't seen that one in a minute. Picks up another one as well. And
20 and 8.
As we said, has had a lot to think about from that first round, does not want to let it repeat it, and you can tell by the stats and the way he's playing again that he wants to make sure that they tie this one up in the second round. Now 50-0.
I mean, all we can see on his player cam is his all hats. A couple of lips moving a little bit at the moment. But his battle rifle is talking for itself, and I tell you what, he almost managed to get another one there, but G1 will find themselves 3 dead. Karmea somehow went into that horrible, perilous situation and came out with 2 and an oddball in his hands.
Wow, just committing to the glorious death there in the back of the Tram. Rockets up here on the Laundry. It looks like it should be a grab for G1. Let's see. Assists, though, do come in from Karmea yet again. Rockets still up.
2v2. And Karmea has the opportunity here and should have the lines of sight with this Stalker rifle to keep his opponents off of those rockets for just a few seconds. But there's that flank coming in, but no, Huss misses the beatdown!
My reversal.
And Karmea makes him pay.
Yikes. Perfectly timed on the drop, on the shots, and on the body whack as well, but the sandwich gets put together on back commando. Rockets in the hands of Gilk.
0 for 1 for Gilk with that rocket. You see the idea?
He sat there with the laptop and the GPS coordinates.
It just wasn't a very good idea.
In the end, he had bad intel from the satellites. It's not his fault. Failed triangulation. Blaming the technology. 53-14 now. 3 dead for complexity. Gilkey, your last player alive.
53-14 the score though. G1 once again in a similar position to what we saw them in round number 1. The question is, can they remember to play Halo Infinite for the entire round this time instead of letting it slip through their fingers? That lead is continually going upwards for them. It's more than commanding at this point, Andy. It's 66-14. Even though G1 have lost a couple of players, Precision's trying to milk every second here.
Gilkey's trying to come up the stairs.
My goodness.
Can't do it because of the shots out of the commando of Precision. Eventually, he's taken down. 2 dead for G1. A trade there. A perfect kill comes in for Swish. 2 dead yet again. It's a 2v2 on Driveway.
I mean, no surprise here to see that G1 are heavily outslaying their opponents as well. Only player at the moment who's positive on the side of complexity is going to be Karmea. He's 23-20. KingNick having a little bit of a rough one himself. -10, make it still -10 as he gets that trade. Gilkey, he's in the negative as well, and Tusk is 13-20 himself, so it's somewhat of a surprise looking at those stats as well, Andy, that Complexity are the team who have the lead in this game.
Tusk tries to get a ball grab there as well. Cannot in the end. He'll get taken down. Precision, every time we're on a screen, he's not losing battles. He's 28-12.
Do it.
The double.
Do it!
Oh, the triple as well. It's a perfect kill.
Beautiful stuff from Precision. My word, is this young man impressive. Huss has got the rockets here for G1 as well. They have the odd ball in their hands. He's got this beautiful flank. I tell you what, the GPS was off for Gilkey, but Huss, well, his was working pretty well.
Good damage as well. Gilkey's your last player alive here on the arcade. In the end, doesn't matter because look at the time.
We'll be tied up here at 1-1. G1 should be able to close this out. However, I should know much better than to say that after what we saw in that round number 1. And somehow Complexity do stop it just short. And somehow Complexity have got the odd ball in their hands again. If this happens, Andy, I worry for my own sanity.
We're done. If this happens, we're done. Sorry to everyone involved.
Don't question my reality here.
Here comes Huss.
Come on.
Hey, yo, a bonk on the head.
Oh, my
That's a double kill
goodness.
as well. He's giving him bonks on the head. 2 seconds to go here.
2 seconds to go. Precision says that's enough.
But he doesn't
Complexity
get it.
say, good joke. Don't
Here
like the
goes.
punchline.
It takes a few
Suspector
of them.
finally ties it up at 1-1. My goodness. Seems like G1 just really enjoy the first 99% of the rounds. And
then they just dogpile.
just dogpile.
That's how they do it. In the end, the dogpile works this time. We're tied up at 1-1. As you say, now the sudden death round. To take the first game in the series, not going to be easy. We've seen fantastic battles from both sides. G1, though, if we look statistically at the board control, has really owned 95% of both rounds. However, they'll need to win a third round if they want to take the game.
Just a reminder, we see it so many times here as G1 find themselves 3 dead off of the rip here that not many games of Halo Infinite between the best in the world are won in that first kind of 95% of the game. It's the last 5%.
Yeah.
But the teams are so close, and that's when your focus has to be at its best. That's what we talk about the teams who have the ice, to use inverted commas. That's where it gets won. That's where the pressure's on, and that's where the difference is made. Precision, well, he's not made too many bad decisions so far in this game. He's currently sat at 33-15, and it's not like he's shirking the objective as well. He's got nearly 40 points of objective time as well.
Honestly, unbelievable stuff from him. These are crazy numbers, and he's got to be thinking, boys, we cannot lose this game. I swear to God, if we lose this game, there are conversations to be had, and he's going to be
Zoom meeting. Invitations get sent out.
Without a doubt, there'll be a meeting in a hotel room this evening to discuss it. However, have taken the lead here as Precision. As you said, 34-15. Also a very key backlack on Tusk in the L, by the way. You saw Tusk throw his head back.
Oh my God. Has he missed a bullet in this entire game?
No, to answer the question. 35-15 now. Ball time still continues.
This is ridiculous. He's about to go into the lead if he overtakes Swish. He needs 20 more points. Maybe I'm getting ahead of myself once again, but for objective time, as well as what he's doing on the map, it's another killing spree here for Precision. He's last alive inside a PD. KingNick's going to go back for another piece. KingNick needs to stop challenging Precision.
So we got to check what's under that hat. That is big brainer pro gamer moves from him. 37-16 now. Just keeps going up. Complexity, though, they have something to say about that. A little bit of time back A. Only down by 3 seconds, and now going to see a lead change yet again.
Rocket's coming up as well. 10 seconds until Power Weapon joins Huss once again. Huss flies in. Huss gets 1, but Gilkey will trade it out. 2 dead here for Complexity as G1 now can take control of the tower side of the map. So important to do when those rockets are coming up, to have that line of sight, to have that height. But Precision's on the hunt once again, and look at this. He's got a Bulldog this time.
This guy spawns with secondary weapons.
Hunting Nick down as well, by the way.
Bulldog and rockets now. This man has been controlling the board. Now he's got 2 spikes. He's got all the goodies all the time.
Jesus.
Picks up another one. Might even get out of this as well. Between spikes and Bulldogs, he should be able to watch his own back.
between Spikes and Bulldog sounds like a terrible follow-up to Pride and Prejudice. So we're gonna have to see if anyone wants to pick that up. 24-24 at the moment, the score on the board. With oddball time, Karmea gonna be challenging, doesn't win that one as well. G1 pick up a couple of kills just to keep this game close. It's 2 for 2 at the moment. Oddball is being rotated away though.
And you can tell with how slow this game has been scoring. Keep in mind, we were just tied at 24 for about 30 seconds of play, but neither team wants to make the mistake. They know that if they let it happen, if they let it slip, the game could run away at any point. But just like that, it's a 10-point lead for G1.
I mean, I don't want to jinx Precision here, but there's a real opportunity of 50 bomb in this game if he plays it well and he plays it right. Tusk is trying to fly forward now to force that oddball out of the hands of G1, but he's going to have Huss in front of him, who's going to be challenging alongside Swish. Huss doesn't back down, and Huss with a little tickle with that assault rifle is going to pick up another kill himself. He's 29 and 27 in this game. Everyone on G1 is doing what they need to do with the kills. There's a threat sensor to find KingNick, who once again, unfortunately, just finds himself in those situations and have one of those games where it feels like you're just getting called out all the time.
Really well done there from Huss. I just had to isolate with the threat seeker into Pete. The trade comes in. Huss may be a little bit thankful for that. It was 3 dead for Complexity for the moment.
The pace at which this game is up, by the way. Nobody willing to slow it down. It's a constant assault on both sides. G1 lose 2. Gilkey, the only player dead for Complexity, though. They have numerical advantage on the map, but look how quickly G1 are wrapping to the back of tower. And this, because they want to try and put pressure on that oddball. They want to make it as difficult as possible here for Complexity to get their hands on it, and they're doing a pretty damn good job of it.
They really are. Let's look at this. Huss is down. Complexity should have a man advantage here, an opportunity to get another pick, and it will lead to a rocket grab as well. Well, here goes one for Gilk. They've got 2 dead, maybe 3 soon. 3 indeed. Huss is your last player alive.
Huss is last player alive. And he is going to be called out. Gilkey's going to have to turn his attention away. But look at Huss. What a smart play that is. He challenges, he pokes, he prods, and he forces Gilkey to not be able to pick that oddball up.
Exactly. The ball still hasn't been grabbed. Huss is still alive on Neons. Finally, he gets taken down. But man, did he save some time.
I mean, that's just some really great Halo, right, from both sides. Gilkey recognizing he couldn't get away with that oddball, has to challenge. Huss buys enough time for the rest of G1 to be a part of that play, but in the end, Complexity play it well enough that they now get away with that oddball. So a little bit of to and fro in between the two teams. Nobody really made any wrong plays. It was just Complexity who took that advantage they had with the numbers and put it to work. Here comes Precision, though. He's 43 kills to his name at the moment. And at the moment, G1 are just taking their turns to pick up kills, but they need to take a turn maybe picking up the oddball as well, as that score is getting incredibly close between the two teams.
My goodness, I thought he was going to do it. He finally gets taken down, but that gives you an idea of just how difficult of a kill he's been his entire series. However, through all of that, Complexity, as you mentioned, with a lot of points on the board, just like that, it is within 15, 59-14, 133 left on the clock for the game.
Oh, Huss is going to take down Tusk as well. That means the Stalker Rifle is going to be down. Gilkey knows it. Immediately flies in to clean the kill up, and now he has Precision in his sight. And look at all the info. Do you see how animated Gilkey was there? He got so much info and desperately was trying to relay it to his teammates. He picks up one, Precision's there to trade it out, but the rockets are the focus of attention. 20 seconds, excuse me, until they come up. But Complexity, in the meantime here, have gone into a lead.
Beautiful isolation from Gilkey there. He had 3 players coming from Cafe. He isolated the first 2 battles so well. He gets the first kill, he gets the second of assist, and as you said, that leads to the rotate and the lead change as well here, up by 5 points. And Tram spawns coming in for Complexity. Now all 8 players up. Once KingNick spawns here, but Precision falls.
Rockets are up. Karmea is going to get them, but Suspector is there.
Big.
He gets the kill, he gets the trade, and now he can hunt down the final 2 players who are hiding in the back of Tram. Tusk is going to be one shot, doesn't want to use that rocket, now has to turn and use it, and does get the kill for the killing spree. But in the meantime, it was trades elsewhere. 2v2 and everybody is flying into Tram now towards that oddball.
Huge 2v2. Swish is your last player alive. Swish. Oh boy, Swish with a Sentinel Beam. They haven't found him yet. This is huge. How does he play this?
Oh, he's got to be careful. He's got to try and stay alive. He gets one, and he forces the oddball out of the hands of Gilkey. Swish making plays once again, has to reload. Can he get the trade, Tusk? He's going to win the fight, but he is weak, and here comes Huss to get the trade.
Karmea is your last player alive, though. Throughout all of that, let's see what he could do.
Karmea is trapped on the L at the moment. He came off respawn. It was a clear wipe from G1, all thanks to Swish being kept as last alive, and you can put it on a t-shirt at this point because it's true. Every time you got to find that last player and deal with him.
What a play from him as well. I think he even got help from team damage on the Complexity side on the Commando, but regardless, just absolute powerhouse plays from Commando. 2 dead here for Complexity again.
2 dead. Oddball, where is it? That's the question. It's a 74-point lead to 66. KingNick's going to pick that ball up, but here comes precision. 46 kills for him so far in this game, but these final ones might be the most important. It's 5 seconds and counting until the game ends. G1 just need to keep Complexity off of the ball. That's exactly what they do. And I tell you what, for a bonus series at the end of the day,
yeah,
that was a hell of a game one.
This is delivering this series. What a game one. I mean, what a table setter for the series, if we're honest. We knew it would be close. We know that this one will decide the pool. But that was a fantastic game one, down to the wire. It had really everything you could ask for. In the end, G1 with great game management in the late game. Came down to just a single set of plays that really decided things.
Yeah, really, really was. And I think you're looking at that final moment, right? You're looking at the play on Commando with the Sentinel beam, staying alive, Swish, and not only managing to get 1 kill, not even a trade in that position, he gets 2 kills without being traded out. And then gets damage onto Tusk as well. You've got to say, if you're Complexity, you kind of can't let that happen in that position.
You can't. You really, even if you don't think that the player might be Commando. You saw that they started to check Commando late, but they did it in an isolated way that let him get each kill 1 by 1 with that Sentinel beam. And if you're going to go ahead, you need to be pre-nading that. You need to be pushing together, making sure you're meleeing at almost the same exact time. There's ways to shut down that last player alive, and they didn't do it.
Well, it means that G1 do win that game. It was somewhat of a surprise that it was 2-1 after Complexity made a crazy comeback in that first round. But now we move on to Slayer Solitude. And it's going to be interesting to see how both teams actually approach this one. G1, with the pace they were playing at in that last game, and with the slaying power that we saw coming out of, I mean, pick who you want, to be honest with you. The stats were pretty good for G1. You get the feeling they will feel very confident going into this map number 2.
Yeah, without a doubt. I would take a look here at Karmea versus Precision. 1.11 on the board here. Versus a 1.04. Good numbers from both players, but I'll tell you what, this Slayer, as you said, going to be interesting in terms of a new map being played. A lot of these players on the stage, of course, with a lot of H5 experience as well. And you got to think, Complexity realizing that, man, in 2 of those games, it came down to the wire and needed to make sure they didn't let that happen at the end of that game. They need to make sure they forget about that heading into this game 2 Slayer, to tie up the series 1-1.
One thing that we can say about Complexity is they had a fantastic Slayer record back in Arlington. It was something they relied on that got them through some of those tough games. And whenever you're in a tight series, we always say this, right? But you're looking at Gilk. You're looking at Gilky a lot of the time for Complexity to be that player who just has one of those games where he picks up a snipe and he just goes off.
Yep.
Solitude allows him to do that if they can get a little bit of an early numerical advantage and get that weapon in his hands. And you can also say the same about Karmea. We've seen him take over Slayer games sometimes where he picks up a few power weapons and just gets into that flow state where he is just flicking left and right and hitting heads every time they pop up. And on the other side of things, you could say the same about a lot of the G1 players with how we saw them play in that game number 1, but Stronghold's Recharge being our game number 3, I love the fact that this series is going to be so fast-paced. There's no opportunity to slow this game down for either team.
Not at all. It's going to be fantastic. It's a great series layout, as you say, and I think Slayer Solitude coming out of that game is perfect because it's a little bit of a toss-up being a new game type, and that a fantastic game number 1 that came down to the wire at every single round, essentially, especially your first and your third rounds. Sets us up for a fantastic game number 2. I tell you what, though, G1, a lot to be proud of. I mean, of course, Swish put the team on his back with that late game play at Tram, but you could say that very easily could have been a loss for them, right? They could be staring at an 0-1 deficit going into game number 2, so a lot to be proud of, but I think they need to make sure that they thank their lucky stars, but also get ready to hunker down for game 2.
How much would that hurt G1, by the way, if they lost that game?
Right.
If you're looking at the stat screen afterwards, it's like,
That's what I'm saying.
We're like plus 30 as a team, and
yeah,
we lose? Like, what's going on? So I think it's very important for G1 that they did get that win on the board. It would have been a huge, huge momentum swing for Complexity to come out of that with a win. And you would say, certainly against the run of play, if they would have come out of that game with a win. But it's not about the kills, as we say. Sometimes in objective game types, you win the game by holding the ball. It's what Eco used to say, right? We do what the game says to win the game. Hold the oddball. It's as simple as that. And I think for Complexity, they probably were pretty close to making somewhat of a ridiculous win out of what looked like a difficult situation to do so. But now the game changes. Now the pace will change a little bit as well as we head towards Solitude, the newest map in the rotation, one that's a familiar favorite. Plaza fans back in Halo 5, and we'll have to see who comes out on top in this one.
That really is the question. One thing I need to be looking out for on the Complexity side, there were several times where their first player pushing might have had red gun and they got great damage, but the second and third players were not there fast enough. On a map like Solitude, you need to make sure your pushes are coordinated, and even back Tram push was a great example. Make sure you're on the same page here. We'll see if they could do it and try to tie up the series, or will we see G1 take a 2-0 lead?
We'll have to see how that QT comes into play as well. We've seen a lot of evasion being granted to players who do pick up that Q2. It keeps your life for just a few extra seconds, makes you such a difficult kill. But off the rip here, it's going to be G1 who do get the advantage. Tusk is left on his own on the blue ramp, and it's going to be Precision who has that sniper. And if you're G1, you probably want this weapon in this man's hands.
I like this for Precision. Sets it on Snipe Plat. Interesting to not set it higher up on maybe an S4 angle, but right now he's just going to be able to pick and choose his angles. It was too dead for Complexity. 6-1 lead off the break for G1.
Once Precision is set up with his sniper rifle, it's a perfect time for us to jump into a listening with G1. Let's see what the comms are like.
I have your driveway, Kyle.
One is loop, Ethan. Two loop.
I have your driveway, Kyle, okay?
Loop, weak, Yoki. Another guy there.
One's ledge, maybe going flowers, guys.
I have flowers cross.
Okay.
Three word tram.
Yo, driveway, Kyle, absolute.
Yeah, I'm walking up.
Another one.
One shot yard BR. Another guy back tram.
Yo, ledge as well.
There's two.
tram.
Yo, listen. Driveway right now with the thrust.
Ledge went flowers. I'm pretty sure one just went flowers.
There's two driveway.
Yeah.
They're going. One.
Here, driveway, get back. Here, there.
Yo, silo now. Silo.
One shot. Look, he's one shot.
Silo weak.
Loki's dead. Look at silo now.
Dead.
Two dead.
Flowers,
Three
right?
dead, guys.
This guy was like, could be flowers. I'm trying to let
Nope,
him spawn
he's
here.
tram.
Okay, I hear tram.
I'm coming back to you.
I can Loki get in flowers then.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you spawn in.
Yep.
I'm getting stickies. Yo,
Nice.
right here, guys.
There. I'm walking driveway.
tunnel?
I'm walking
Yoki?
driveway behind him. I'm
I hear
coming
you.
behind him.
I'm going glass.
We opened up snipe.
Got one. Nice, guys.
I reblocked it.
Blue window. One's yard.
Raid.
On
Yard. Come in. Yard BR. Kyle. He has the
No
thrust.
help.
Two here. I'm getting out.
Yo,
One
one's on my
chasing,
hotel. One's on my hotel.
Chasing
guys.
me driveway. I
Two
think.
chasing driveway. I'm looking hotel. Nice trade.
Absolute truck. Nice.
Flowers weak.
Flowers one. Glass,
I'm looking to turn left. Almost there.
On me.
Tusk is above you with glass.
Good play.
Nice.
Ethan.
One is glass. I'm
hear
pushing
you.
this out too.
Yeah, push this out together. Ethan, don't die.
Two seconds.
Don't die. I'm here.
Behind a sniper or something?
Shit, baby. Yeah,
You snipe
turn
us.
around. Let's play for Q together. One's blue window.
Yo, one's in yard of me.
I'm walking up posters right
I'm
now.
looking to Kyle.
Okay.
Alright, I got Q. Don't trip.
Flowers right now. At least one.
Yeah.
One might be below the
Let's
ledge.
go flowers.
I'm
Two
going
flowers
ledge.
really weak.
Okay, I'm pushing.
Hotel one shot two
Yo,
guys.
they both backed up in blue. They both backed
Yeah,
up.
they
in blue.
did.
We don't have to kill him.
I'm
We
not
don't
pushing
have to
that.
kill
I'm
him.
not pushing
Yeah.
Yep.
Yo, guys,
We're
I'm
good.
gonna walk bottom.
I'm backing up.
I hear you.
As we jump back into the comms, it's the most Gen Z listening I've ever had in my life. Andy, can you help me translate?
I'm not gonna lie, I don't understand half of the things I just heard. 16-6 here. Regardless, though, G1 looking absolutely fantastic here. As you heard, just fantastic coordination in terms of the way that they trap players' tram, the angles they took as well. When you heard the tram spawn coming in, saying they can take advantage of that. They can go LR, they can go into flowers, they can continue playing loop when they normally wouldn't. Just really good comms, really good spawn awareness. 18-9, 19-9 now. They just keep the train going as well, and Swish almost makes it happen.
One thing I did love from the listening, though, is in all seriousness, was how they were using each other's names to communicate, right? I think it's such an undervalued thing in Halo sometimes. It's like, just saying a player's name makes it aware that that's who you're looking at, that's who you're talking to, and they make plays based off of your comms, and G1's certainly doing that right now. 20-11, we talked about how Solitude Slayer can be a little bit snowbally here in Halo Infinite. Well, Gilkey and Complexity need to keep that in mind. They need to make sure that they stay in this game, because if they get that sniper rifle out of the hands of Precision, then maybe they can start a comeback themselves.
Finally, they do. That sniper will get taken down. Suspector, though, off the back of that with a nice little double, and he even has more pressure from Loop. Tries to keep the game within reason, but it's already a 24-14 game. They get 25.
Yeah, G1 just keep pressuring Complexity as well. This is the problem, right? They can't even regroup and get a 4 on the map at the moment because G1 are just keeping them split on their spawns constantly throughout this game. QT going to be coming up in just a few seconds as well, top middle. Suspector doesn't care about that. He's hungry for more kills. He's going to find one onto Karmea. Gilkey will hit some important shots to keep this close. And now this is the opportunity here for Complexity. Swish is last alive. The rest of his teammates just coming off of respawn, but he does still have that sniper rifle.
Done so well to rotate back as well. He's got the repulse, 2 stickies, as well as a snipe in hand with 2 shots left. So just going to keep the advantage and all the control back in his hands.
Yeah, this is where concentration's important, right? You've got to make sure you're watching your angles. Just the second that he looks away, Tusk doesn't need to be asked twice, but he hits that body shot to force Tusk back. And now he allows G1 to kind of overload the loop side of the map. But here comes the push now. KingNick's going to fly in first. Karmea gets taken down. Gilkey will pick up 2. And I'm pretty sure that Gilkey won't be able to pick the 3rd up, but he does enough damage. And again, Swish left on his own. It's 4 dead here for G1. And now the comeback is on for Complexity.
See if they can do it. Swish playing that angle pretty cleverly, to be honest. There's a lot more cover offered by those pillars in Infinite than there was in H5, and that really wasn't a snipe angle you'd always see used. I mean, it's a really good push there in the end, but still a 10-kill lead.
A long-range battle that was being won there by Tusk for quite some time. Didn't manage to pick up the kill, and now G1 are trying to trap them. inside a yard at the moment. You can see that Suspector's trying to play his life a little bit here, wait for a little bit of help coming in from a teammate, gets the information that Tusk is there, jumps back up to posters and just being so evasive here. Such a problem, such a nuisance. The call out comes in as well, and oh my goodness. That's what Suspector can bring to this team, that consistency in those individual battles.
This man's played a few games on this map, you could say. Oh, and also turns on Karmea there and just continuing to run loop. Eventually, Micah take it down. No, killing spree as well. And they're up 36-24. Suspector running an absolute clinic. He's 15-5.
15-5 plus a 10. And I mentioned how this might just look on paper like this is home for Suspector. Well, he's playing like he's looking pretty comfortable at the moment. He's got the keys to the castle. 36-24 the score. 6 minutes left in this game. QT and Sniper Rifle coming up, and if Complexity want any chance of getting back into this, they need to get both.
Combat Evolves a Sniper. If that flies over the snipe tower and they grab it, that would be absolutely nuts. I think he's denied the snipe for sure based off of that Combat Evolved. A really nice plasma nade, and you could tell that was rehearsed as well. That will deny snipe. We'll keep an eye on where it might have flown to, but regardless, QT is up.
Karmea has got it.
Oh my word.
So Complexity do have a chance here, even though they're down by 11. A couple of shots here from Karmea. And the game can turn on its head, but a lot of pressure on his shoulders right now.
What did he just hit?
Tough to say.
Glass, some hidden glass ceilings there. The repulse didn't get as high, I don't think, on the angle as he wanted to. He will, speaking of, takes out a cankle for a second. Still, 10 kill deficit here, and you have to wonder, has Complexity just let this get out of hand in terms of the kill department early on?
Yeah, I think the only problem here for Complexity is the amount of deaths they have to play with, right? It's all good to have the snipe, it's all good to have opportunities to get back into the game, but you can't afford to be going three for 4 every single time. They need to be 4 for 1, 4 for 2 if they want to get back into this game. Karmea is doing everything he can to force Complexity back into this, but the trades keep coming in for G1, and it's just not enough at this point.
Only one shot left in the snipe as well, and as you say, it would require a Herculean effort in terms of coordination and outslaying, repeated outslays, in order to bring this one back. Now it's 40-28 G1.
Huss gets 2, and now you're going to see the pressure coming in. Huss is looking for his triple kill. Swish will get 2 himself, and it's 4 dead for Complexity. And with that, you feel like the hopes have just been crushed by G1. It's 43-28. I've seen some crazy comebacks, but with the way that G1 are playing at this point, Andy, this looks like it could be 2-0 to them.
Especially with, honestly, with 4:15 left on the clock, even though that's still a lot of time, G1 can play this really obnoxious. But knowing them, they're just going to continue to apply the pressure. First few kills come in. 3 dead, though. Swish is your last player alive here on Driveway.
Swish last alive, but we saw what happened last time he was last alive.
Yep.
Ilki's trying to hunt him down, but that Commando, again, the control. He's coming in from Swish with this weapon is second to none.
It's happening again. You can't leave him the last player alive, as you said. Oh, still doing it. He's going to pick up even more. Just watch. There it is.
I mean, we know that tapping buttons is a player, right? And he's pretty good, but when it comes to tapping Commando, Swish might be one of the best in the game at the moment. 3 kills to go now for G1. Complexity might be having to think about pulling off a reverse sweep if they want to take second seed in this pool.
Man, what do you even do there? I mean, we won't even have time to talk about it. 48-34, 2 kills to go here for the side of G1 as they look to close this out. Here comes the push, 1 more to go.
Suspector 17-7, plus 10. That's what you want from a new pickup. By the way, Huss has 17 assists. 17 assists! And with that 50th kill coming in as well, G1 will go up 2-0 in the series. And I tell you what, they look terrifying.
Terrifying. And you know what you cannot do is let a team like G1 get a 10-kill lead, because then they play obnoxious with the 10-kill cushion the whole time, and they played like they had a 10-kill lead, right? They're just pushing in scenarios where they otherwise might not be able to, and playing the aggression, playing the advantage, and they ran with that the entire game. Complexity, unsurprisingly, looking like they might need a little bit of a water break. Heading into that game number 3, they'll take a step off the stage for a quick second. G1 just in control.
In control and in the zone as well. I mean, we're looking at Suspector right now. He ain't going anywhere. He wants to get straight into the rest of this series, and no surprise to see it as well. I mean, you're looking across the stats there, and KingNick not having the best of games, 4 and 15 for him. Led the way in assists for his team, but I mean, that standout stat, there's 2, right? Suspector 17-7, but Huss, for a player to go 7 and 11 in a game, it's not a bad stat in Slayer overall, even if you had 6, 7, 8 assists. But he had 17 assists. That's ridiculous.
Insane.
Ridiculous.
Makes me want to go back and watch the entire game from his point of view, because it was pure brilliance there, undoubtedly, to rack up 17 assists. Look at the other side. The next closest assist is 10 from KingNick, right? I mean, unbelievable numbers. He more than doubles anyone else on his team in the assist category as well.
Absolutely insane coming in from them, and we'll have to see if they can keep that kind of teamwork together as well, because the teamwork was, I mean, you're looking at, statistically you can kind of see how a team is working, right? And a lot of the times you'll see, you know, Huss in a position where he might get a huge amount of assists and someone else is, you know, he's getting quite a few deaths and the kills aren't being cleaned up, for example. But you can see that every single facet of this roster is working so well together. Suspector and Huss as a duo working absolutely beautifully. We'll take a look at some of the highlights from that game, but I mean, Suspector didn't have a huge amount of assists, and he didn't need to because the damage was being done by Huss. The work, the heavy lifting was being done, and he just had to be a cleanup crew.
So impressed. Also, that late play that we saw in the end of the game when we kind of joked about Swish being the last player alive on driveway and he was going to do it again. Guess what? He did do it again. And in fact, you could tell the complexity didn't know how to challenge him. Gilkey goes loop, dies. They don't even continue to challenge loop, right? They just start to die. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he gets one, and then all of a sudden you can see they know they can't do anything because they don't have any deaths to play with. And then off the back of it, not for the first time, we see vital kills at the end of the game not being picked up by complexity. It's all Swish for G1, and not just getting out of it with a trade, but getting out of it where he's contributing to 3-4 kills afterwards. It's such a simple thing sometimes to say out loud, but you have to make sure you're collapsing on that last player alive as a squad. Otherwise, they do exactly what Swish is doing.
Yeah, and absolutely. I mean, the fact that they didn't even watch Loop, that's the more concerning part for me, right? Gilkey challenged, maybe over-challenged from Loop into driveway. He gets taken down. The players who are alive need to be watching Loop, need to be watching Glass and LR in that moment, and also keeping eyes on Tram, of course, for Tram spawners. But it's just surprising to see that much of a breakdown, and I think we're seeing a little bit of that in game number 1. We certainly saw it in game number 2, and I think you're seeing just the complexity maybe on a different page in a lot of these battles.
Yeah, now we're going to have to see if complexity can find a way back into the series and start a reverse sweep, because at the moment it's looking like there's only one result on the cards here, and it's going to be G1, the gentleman that you can see on your screen, walking away from the arena today and walking away from this awesome looking stage with a 3-0 series victory and second place in their pools. But I mean, we were hearing that there were some really close games earlier between G1 and Optic, was it? Excuse me, no, with FaZe? Excuse me, in Group A.
Yeah.
And you can see exactly why. They're playing so fast, they're playing so aggressive, and there's also so much individual ability. It's not like they're just playing recklessly fast. They're hitting the shots while they're doing it.
Absolutely, and I think this is a style that they're doing it as well, right? They're not just kind of over-challenging for damage. They're often challenging the third player alive, for example, and then getting that kill as well. And that's really a testament to their confidence, the game awareness, and the individual skill as well. And also, if you're G1, you really want to end it here. Despite the fact that the series has been pretty convincing in their best moments, I think they want to end it here, ride that momentum into tomorrow, and really think about what they can do in the bracket, because G1's been a team up and down throughout all of Halo Infinite. We've seen them hit some really high places, top 3 in online events, but on LAN lately, they haven't been where they want to be. Maybe this weekend will be different for them.
We'll have to see if they can, like you say, put the performance together over a weekend, because what we've seen so far in this series has been very, very impressive. And another thing I just want to kind of highlight while we have a second here and the players get ready for this game number 3. When you're looking at teams and how they're interacting with each other, what plays they're making, you can see decisiveness sometimes in teams. And you can see a little bit of, say, maybe second guessing from players on what the play is, call is, what they want to try and focus on, what the objective is for the team in the next 10 seconds. With G1, it looks like there's no second guessing. Everybody is playing for the same priority on the map, and it's difficult for complexity to handle. It's difficult for anyone to handle at the moment.
It really is, and it all starts so often with that first pick, right? And because we're seeing G1 consistently get the opening damage in a straight-up 4v4, get the opening pick to get the man advantage, from there the dominoes continue to fall. And you could just tell that G1 has fantastic game management from there. And I think if complexity wants to turn this around on Stronghold's recharge, it has to start in the damage department, right? They need to make sure that they know where those first spawners are, whether or not they're pushing the last player alive, because it's so often been individual pushes on each of the last players alive. They need to make sure they're on the same page of your last player alive, and then just make sure they get the opening damage. I think if they do that, they have a great chance at Stronghold recharge, but G1 has just proven to be a formidable opponent.
I mean, we'll take a look at the KD leaderboards here from day number 1 of the HCS Global Invitational. And it's going to be Formal who's leading the way at the moment for Optic Gaming with a 1.5. Lucid there as well with a 1.37. No surprise to see him alongside Royal 2. I'm pretty sure you could just guess that they'll be in the top 5 every single event. But Torlik as well continuing his amazing performances throughout the season. And no surprise to see the Frenchman at the bottom there, Legend, whose stock has been rising and rising. And I think finally he's getting the recognition not just on a continental level, but on a worldwide stage as well.
Absolutely, and really interesting kind of leaderboard here because it's told the story of where we are right now, I think, quite perfectly. We keep talking about the fact that we have FaZe, Optic, Quadrant now kind of all vying together in that top 4 along with Sentinels, but you have your top 3 seeds represented there. And then also Tusk, a player that you've been talking about even since really before he hit his superstardom. He was always going to be a player that was fighting for big KD numbers here. So really interesting to see them all evening out here at this point in the season.
Yeah, I think it's we were kind of discussing, you know, what we were thinking about coming into this event, as we always do. And we were saying, you know, is it the big 3 now? Or is it maybe a little bit further down than that? Is there a big 4 about to be in the conversation? Because when you're talking about Quadrant against the likes of an Optic, you're kind of all of a sudden not going, this is an Optic win.
Right.
And
you're definitely not.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, you're not. And the same thing could be said maybe if they go up against a Space Station and a FaZe, even though Space Station did deal with them pretty comfortably, you would say, back in Arlington, but we just see how much they get better and better every single time, and we'll have to see if G1 and Sentinels maybe have something to say about that. And those games get a little bit dicey and a little bit close as we go through the event. But next up is going to be Stronghold's Recharge, and for Complexity, I think a well-needed break because they need to reset, they need to refocus on what they need to do to get back into this series. And I think they just got to play their lives a little bit better. I think they need to not fall into the trap that G1 is setting for them with that fast pace, that aggressive pace. Just back down. If you are in an individual battle, back down, buy a few seconds to get some help, and almost bait G1 in. If you can get that first pick, then you have numbers, you have more weapons, you have more guns on the map, and then from there, the communication should be enough for you to deal with the final players. But for G1, it's an opportunity here to close out the series in a dominating fashion here, Andy. The question is it going to be 3-0, or do we have some more Halo left in us?
That is the question. We'll see if G1 picks up where they left off. Undoubtedly, they're going to play this game so fast, and that's what Complexity has to be ready for, is the pace that G1's going to bring. And as you said, maybe you actually just deflect that sword a bit, and you make that pace their own enemy, right? You turn it against them to maybe catch them off guard just a bit, baiting and switching, slowing things down. We'll see if they could do it. It's 2-0 in favor of G1. Complexity looking to stay alive.
Camo always going to be contested off the rip here on Recharge. Swish is going to get away with it by the looks of things. You can hear it being popped, and Complexity trying to hunt him down at the moment. KingNick does get that first kill. KingNick, though, is going to be left on his own. Suspector's going to be challenging 1v1, and even though he gets that kill and gets out of that position with 2, unfortunately for him, other teammates have fallen. That means G1 will have early scoring here, B and C as the whole.
Karmea was your last player alive as his teammates spawned in tower. I believe Karmea should be in pipes above this, and he does take a pipes angle. Should give them an opportunity for a little bit of control. Precision, though, has the shock rifle, which is dangerous. I can't even get the sentence finished before he hits the shot.
This is maybe the start of something special here, and I don't say that very often when I'm watching a POV, but Precision has been unbelievable. World class so far in this series. He has barely missed a shot. And look at the respect that he's being shown at the moment. We know that Precision's here with a shock rifle. Nobody wants to show.
Truly, I mean, a privilege to watch. I could not agree more. Ooh, let's see what happens here. Unsurprisingly, it's going to be... Eat my words. Gilkey with a very nice double team. Gets the help he needs and picks that up. It's a good push in the end towards A, but I could not agree more. What we've seen from Precision is, I mean, he's already a household name in Halo, but if you didn't know the name, now you know it. An unbelievable series from him so far.
3-1 at the start of this game once more, and he always seems to pick up 3-4 kills before he gets taken down for the first time in a game. Scoring continues here for G1, and you can see that all the Complexity at the moment just trapped over at pipes. Suspector has such an obnoxious angle to do damage and keep them alive, and off that damage now you're seeing Swish try and push, try and use that half wall to defend from the bullets coming in from top A, and with the shots and the help coming in, look at this collapse. It's brilliant from G1. They get the kills, but can they get towards A now and convert that stronghold?
Gotta love that sound. Suspector just flies in to save the day with the zip. Flies in, perfectly timed double team once again. 41-14. G1 off to a fantastic start. All 4 players alive on Complexity now. Let's see what they can do with the push.
And Swish just a little shot there, but I didn't hear the slide underneath him. That was something that I certainly did pick up. Suspector's got the camo and the shock, though, and this is a problem. Even though they're going to get that conversion, you would imagine that at the end of this little run of 10 seconds or so, that G1 should come out with the conversion of A, but look at the strongholds, look at the score. The triple cap here momentarily for Complexity has shown them a way back into this game. KingNick trying to pressurize as well. They have AB, and as we know, that's the strongest setup here on Recharge.
See what they can do. Suspector, by the way, on the other side, he's already 6-2. What a start for him. However, doesn't mean much when the game's only within 5. And as you say, Complexity, a nice AB hold to not only get back in this game, they now take the lead.
KingNick trying to watch the cross, doing a lot of damage here for his team as well. Interesting decision to try and push in there. Tusk is on the flank, so I think he was just trying to distract long enough for Tusk to get into a position to clean up that damage as they try and now push for that triple kill. Should be able to comfortably pick that one up, but with the kills kind of being split across the map here, a 2-for-2 trade, deciding to stay over at A, keep that pressure on, and try and keep control of this AB setup. Complexity now into somewhat of a commanding lead. This is a hold that's been very difficult to break here for G1.
Really nice from Complexity. You could say the best they've looked all series, if we're completely honest here, as they now have a little bit of a lead here to play with. And maybe the cushion that they needed to play a little bit more comfortably as he gets triple team. KingNick was your last player alive. Make it now 4 dead, and G1 makes very quick work of that. They will start to flip.
Yeah, finally they get the kills, and now they'll be able to turn the triple cap into one of their own. Karmea trying to put pressure onto C to start flipping it for Complexity to stop the scoring getting out of hand, but Suspector's trying to play so quick here. He's trying to be so aggressive. Tusk is trapped, and Tusk is dealt with. 2 dead to make it 3 dead for Complexity, and this is what I was worried about. If numbers start going the way of G1, it means power-ups start going the way of G1, because they will keep cycling these spawns, they will keep you split on the map, and Complexity are feeling the pain.
Oh boy, now Suspector can go wherever he wants with the shock. He's going to be able to pick up easy angles like that from the stacks. Probably pick up this one as well. Doesn't even need to do so. Karmea is your last player alive, and just like that, G1 crosses the 100-point mark in the lead.
And now Suspector says, hey, if you want to go through pipes, you're going to have to go through me. All of Complexity respawning over at A. Gilkey managed to sneak out for just a few seconds, but with that kill, that means that all of them are still trapped in and around A and Turbine, and G1 just have a chokehold on at the moment. It's 119 to 82, but Complexity have shown they can turn these games around. They've shown that they can get back into this particular game of Strongholds, but Suspector, again, just picking up that entry kill to keep the pressure on.
I was just going to say, Suspector hasn't died. He finally, he'll be taken down. He hadn't died since he was 6-2. He finally dies there at 11-3 after a killing spree. Guess what? Precision's on a killing spree as well.
Surprise,
and that
surprise.
very easily explains the 138 to 82 lead here for G1. As we said, give them an inch, they will take a mile. They have done just that. Triple cap in effect as well.
Triple cap in effect, that means all you need to do is trade. If you're G1, get into position where you're alongside a teammate, get those trades, keep fighting off respawn, keep forcing Complexity into awkward positions they don't want to fight from, and look at the damage being done here by Precision. Swish arrives just in the nick of time to keep him alive and pick up those kills. The reset comes in on A as well. Complexity still with 2 players dead. Suspector gets another. Gilkey's last player alive. Well, go and join your teammates, Gilkey. It's time to have a sleep.
Oh goodness, and here goes Precision again. Shock rifle out, just waiting for spawners. Still 3 dead. Karmea and Tusk will spawn up. We take a look, and the pipe spawns coming in. Actually, a split.
Oh!
Okay. First one gets taken down. Karmea is handled easily. KingNick and Tusk looks like all going to be on the other side of the map. Gilkey now and Tusk pushing A.
Makes it look so easy. Look at the confidence. Walking in towards A with his shock rifle, ready to do damage. Does back out just in time, though. They're going to give up A here for a few seconds. And G1 now look to pounce. If Tusk pokes,
Oh boy.
we kind of know what the story is going to be.
Doesn't need an invitation. Walks right in. He even looks away. He still gets the kill. And grapple as well. Also, speaking of grapple, here's Huss with a grapple in the middle as well. What? Did he even get the juke?
What?
He does. The assist comes through.
Well, he does that as well. Precision picks up another kill. There's one more maybe going to be picked up, but no, Karmea will get that kill himself. Precision, though, with his shock rifle, he's trying to patrol, and I tell you what, we've seen this one before.
Yep.
Same result. Killing frenzy for Precision.
16-5 in this game. Unbelievable. They crossed the 210 mark as well. And what a series for Precision.
C gets converted here by G1 as well. It's 2-12 and rising. Precision gets information, stays alive as well. Waits for help. Now he can pop back out and try and do damage, but realizes he hasn't got the help available quite yet, and somehow gets out of there. What?
Hits the slide at the end of the grapple as well, and I think a lot of people were watching that one grapple left. It's a trip cap here for Complexity during it. So while it looked good, it's going to mean work for G1 off the respawn to get control of the game.
Huss gets the first kill though, and that means Swish is going to jump straight into B. C being flipped as well. You see the desperate pings coming in saying, hey, somebody watch my battle edge. But the triple cap was great, but look how quickly it's been broken here by G1. They have B, they have C, and they are scoring once again and getting closer and closer to a 3-0 series lead.
It's like when you're at a theme park and the ride was a bit too short and you think, wait, the trip cap's over? That was it? And just like that, as you say, shut down. However, Complexity still a good pressure here. They control AC and they start to flip B again. So very, very back and forth gameplay here.
This is where G1 just got to be careful though, right? Because we've seen this a few times. They look like they're in full control and then all of a sudden foot off the gas. They think the game's won, they think the series has won, and they let Complexity back into things. Precision picks up yet another kill. He's 19-8 in this game, by the way. I want to see his KD at the end of this because I think we might have to kind of pixelate it because it might be illegal to show on the broadcast.
So especially in this state. You cannot show something like that in Utah. That is for darn sure here.
220 and rising, but Complexity are coming back into this, Andy. For all the good we've said about G1, this is the worry for them. Just for a second, you're trying to win the game too quickly. B gets flipped, but C is being converted here by Complexity. Camo in the hands of Karmea as well. Precision, even though you got a lot of kills, you're not going to get one in this situation against a Camo player. Karmea on the flank, causing problems, and now you can see Suspector inside of A trying to flip it, but here comes the Complexity push now onto B.
Really well done by Karmea. You can just tell with the way he's checking all these angles. He wants to do whatever he can across the map. Great shots! And a killing frenzy for him as well.
Precision last alive. 2 killing frenzies in the same game?
From different players on each
different
team.
teams? I don't think I've ever seen that before.
I don't think I've ever seen it on the main stage. That is absolutely wild. Still, Complexity scoring. They are not going down without a fight.
AB the setup. Swish and Suspector trying to cut that mid-bridge angle to force the way onto A. Karmea does have the flank, he's done the damage, but can he get there quickly enough? And I kind of like this play. He sees that the battle has been lost. He's rotating now to C to try and get his teammates back onto the map. Karmea has responsibility here. Oh, he's got the timing. Suspector didn't know he was there, but Suspector turns. He does know. He gets the kill as well, Suspector. That is massive for G1 to get back into this.
Huge. Now, B should flip as well. Yes, Precision is going to get the finish there. They will now continue scoring at the 223 mark.
Now it becomes desperation time for Complexity. They're inside of B momentarily. There's the reset. Gilkey does get a kill, though. Midbridge going to be pushed. Karmea's there again. Oh, my Suspector. Another kill for him. KingNick going to challenge. And all of a sudden, G1 on the back foot once more. But Camo is here for Huss.
It was 2 dead for G1. What can Huss do? They did not have the man advantage coming off this play. This is a big Camo play for him.
He can win the game here. All he has to do is patrol B. Make sure that nobody jumps in. He's doing exactly that. Karmea cannot go into B. C is the rest of the responsibility of G1 to keep in their control. They're going to do just that. Precision picks up another. He's having another ridiculous game. He's 21-11. And with that, G1 will close out in one of the most dominant games and dominant series I've seen from a team, not only reflecting the scoreline, but my excitement for watching it as well. That was fun.
It was a lot of fun. And like you said, when's the last time, if ever, that we've seen killing frenzies on both sides of the stage in a single game? Absolutely ridiculous. Not something you see very often. And I don't know in my 2 decades of competitive Halo if I've actually seen it on a main stage. A fantastic series, but in the end, it is G1 3-0 on the scoreboard.
I mean, shout out to everyone in the back for making the call to show this series, because that is one that I think a lot of teams will probably be hoping there was some VOD of, and there is some VOD of to watch back, because G1 looked dominant, they looked exciting, and I think every single member on their team is working as a cohesive unit, and you can see what they bring to this lineup, man.
I think you put it perfectly. It was so exciting. It looked like on the G1 POVs, and sometimes on the Complexity screens, don't get me wrong, but especially on the G1 POVs, they wanted to be there. They wanted to be on the main stage tonight. They wanted to have Shock Rifle in hand, and they wanted to pop off. That's exactly what they did.
I mean, look at Precision again, 21-11 from him. Phenomenal numbers across the series. I really want to see his total KD. If someone could show us that, that would be amazing. On the other side of things, you know, Complexity not matching up. Gilkey having a very slow game, 9-17 for him. But, I mean, again, pick your poison on the side of G1. Everybody putting the damage down. Suspector, 5K. 4.5K for Swish and Huss. And then, I mean, Precision just standing on his own.
Precision breaks the 6K number. He also, not only did he have that KD, he was tied for most assists on the team. Unbelievable.
And he had a killing frenzy.
Jeez, wild, wild. As we said, what also, for those of you who haven't gotten to see that much Precision gameplay, you're going to be thankful you caught that series, because what a statement from him, right? I mean, he is here and he is in SLC in a huge way. That's 3-0 for them. Unbelievable numbers from the entire side, but you have to say Precision was the standout player for the series, and I have no doubt that he gained a lot of fans in that series with the way he was playing.
Yeah, amazing performance from G1, looking extremely exciting, and looking forward to seeing more of them as we move through the weekend. But for now, that is going to be the games done for today. We're going to send it back to Lottie and the guys on the desk to send us home.